Hi everyone, hope you all are doing great. Welcome back to my channel, my Maple family. So today we are here with another interesting topic and a most requested one as well. When we talk about the speaking test, here most of the students get a little scared that what exactly is going to happen there. They are nervous. Even if they are good speakers, they tend to get lower band in speaking. So in this video, we will understand how to get a higher band in speaking by just doing what you do in your day-to-day life. That is how you generally speak. So my dear students, first thing that you need to understand that when you go for a speaking test, you will have a conversation with the examiner. That would be an informal conversation. First thing that you need to understand here. Secondly, you will be judged on 4 basic criterias, which would be your pronunciation, usage of your vocabulary, then your grammar, okay, and last but not the least would be your fluency. So when I talk about these 4 things, then we should understand that we need to influence these 4 things only to get a better band in IELTS. So in today's video, I will help you understand that how you can enhance these 4 things so that you get at least a band of 8 in your speaking test. So let's get started. So first thing that you need to do is you need to understand the importance of fluency in your speech. Here students, when I talk about fluency, I mean to say that there are so many thoughts coming in your mind when a question is being asked from you. And you must also be aware that the speaking test for IELTS Academic and for IELTS General remains the same. So, it is divided into 3 parts. The first one remains the informal conversation related to you, where you just need to introduce yourself. The examiner asks you some general questions in the first round, which will lead to the second round that would be related to a cue card. Okay, when I say cue card, I am going to make further detailed videos on cue card, that what exactly cue cards are and what are the different topics that are there in the cue card and how you need to express your thoughts on that topic. So first you need to understand that there are 3 parts in the speaking test. First was introduction, second was a cue card, and the last one was some analytical questions related to the conversation which you already had. Usually it is related to that only, but the examiner has a choice to ask you anything, right? So these are the 3 major parts. The speaking test goes on just for 10 to 15 minutes to the maximum, and here you are being judged, as I just told you, on those 4 parameters, right? So the first one being fluency. If I talk about fluency, now the biggest problem here with students happen when we think really fast, but when we speak, sometimes our speech does not match with our thought process. So what happens? We are thinking too fast and we are trying to speak faster, okay, just to express what is coming in our mind. So what happens here? Here the major problem occurs that you are trying too hard to express yourself, hence you are being too fast and you end up doing nothing but stammering. You eat your words, you do not pronounce your words correctly, and even though you are a good speaker in general life, you don't tend to get more than a band 7. So my dear friends, what you need to do is you need to have a particular fluency while expressing your thoughts. And how would that come? Obviously it would come with practice. Just sit in front of the mirror, take list down some questions and start answering them. The questions should be related to you. Why I say that? Because always the speaking test, as I told you, is an informal conversation. So when you have an informal conversation, the examiner tends to ask questions related to you, your day-to-day life, your choices, your hobbies, etc. Clear? So fluency is, now I hope that you have understood what I mean by fluency. One more thing in fluency that you need to understand is that when you are speaking speaking about a thought, you should be very clear about it. You should be coherent with your thought. What I mean here is that when I am being asked, for example, I'll give you an example here. For example, if the examiner asks me that, do you like going to the park? A very simple question. Here I answer it in this way. For example, I say, I love to go to the park. Yeah, I really like it and I do go there sometimes. And then I stop. So now what I did, I answered the examiner for sure. I answered it grammatically correct, but still I cannot get a band more than 7 if I answer it this way. I will tell you why. Because first I said I love going to the park. Then I stopped. Then I thought, that's a gap of your thought, right? Then what I said, yes, I do like it sometimes. I am contradicting what I just said in the first sentence. I first said that I love going to the park. Then I am saying I like it, but I don't go there too often. So I am contradicting what I'm getting confused that what exactly do I mean. So here you will not get more than band 7 if you are speaking grammatically correct, but your thought is confused. You are stopping in between. You are taking too long pauses. So instead of this, what should you say? You should instead say, for example, you can say, I love going to the park. I love strolling there with my kids. And I often go there with my children. That's a simple answer. But here, what I did, I tried using my vocabulary in a better way, and hence I may have a chance to get a higher band. Yes, so moving ahead to the next thing. So first, fluency we have understood. Second, now if I talk about would be vocabulary. Now what do I mean by vocabulary? All of you are aware that when I say the word vocabulary, I mean that usage of different words, new words. But what happens, many of us tend to learn the vocabulary but not use it in our day-to-day life. Now if you are doing that, then you will not be able to score good with your IELTS exam. I'll tell you why. There are certain words which we just mug up and learn, and we do not know how to use it and where to use it. I will give you a simple example to explain it. For example, I learned that I need to use the word stunning or exquisite instead of saying beautiful, right? But the examiner asked me about my favorite food item or my favorite dish. Now, if I say I love Rajma rice because it looks exquisite, then I will not get the marks. Even though you would say, ma'am, I have used the word exquisite, but my dear friends, this word is not appropriate in context of food. When you are saying something beautiful in terms of what you see, there you can use this term. For example, if I have to use this term by saying that I wore a beautiful dress, instead of that, if I say I wore an exquisite dress for the party, then I will get a better band because I used a better vocabulary word and I used it in the right context. So my dear friends, only knowing the vocabulary isn't enough. You need to understand where to use which word. So if you are doing that correctly, this will only happen if you start learning the words and start using them in your day-to-day life. Then only you are going to use it absolutely correct in your IELTS exam. Absolutely naturally it will come to you. You don't have to take a pause and think for a better word and then speak about it. If you will do that, then the examiner is smart enough to get it that you are just mugging up the vocabulary words and you are not a frequent user, right? So this was one tip for the vocabulary. I am definitely going to move ahead with a lot of new words within which context they should be used so that you enhance your vocabulary and also understand that how and where these words should be used. In my coming up videos, I am surely going to make such such interesting and important videos So do not forget to subscribe to my channel before this video gets over. Right? So next point that is very important when you are going in for your speaking test is grammar. Now all the children, all the students say, we are very good at grammar, we know the rules. But knowing the rules is not sufficient. You need to use the grammar correctly and also frame sentences which are complex. So my dear friends, if you are using grammar in a simple sentence, but you are not creating, you are not using the higher range of grammar, then your score will get stuck to band 7 only in speaking. So if you need to increase the score, you need to work on a higher range of grammar. So here I'll give you an example of what do I mean when I say that you need to use a better range of grammar. For example, if I simply say a sentence, I say I am learning English to get a better band in IELTS. It's an absolutely grammatically correct sentence, but here you are using a very simple sentence, hence a band 7 is what you are going to get. But if you are framing it into a better way, for example, you say, the reason why I am studying English is to get a better score in my IELTS exam. So here you are clarifying the thought of the sentence by starting the sentence by saying the reason why I am learning IELTS. So you are using grammar in a better way in a complex sentence. How we are going to frame complex sentences? These videos are also going to come. I'm going to definitely help you with these videos as well. So do not forget to subscribe to my channel, right? Okay, and also share it with those who are preparing for IELTS exam for such interesting tips which will really help you to get a better band score in IELTS. Yes? Okay, moving ahead to the last but not the least point, that was when we talk about pronunciation. Now many of the students also feel that, ma'am, we can fake the pronunciation, we can talk like an American, we can talk like a Britisher, and that would really help us to get a better band. But my dear friends, that's not the right way to go about pronunciation. When we are talking about pronunciation, it does not mean that you should speak like an American or a Britisher. Here it just means that whatever words you are using should have the correct pronunciation. For example, there is a very common word that we use. For example, I say, I want to enhance my career. Career, I am talking about my profession. But many students would say career. So when you are using the word and pronouncing it wrong, then definitely you are not going to get a good score. But if you understand that how a word is to be used, which word is to be used, and how to pronounce it correctly, then only you will get a band 8. For example, one more thing I'd like to tell you. When I talk about pronunciation, there comes another point, which is intonation. For example, if I am using a word like delighted, okay, I am telling my happiness that I am very glad about something, then my face, my expression, my tone should also say that. But if I am talking about something disheartening, I was saddened by some incident, then my tone, suddenly comes down and my voice tells that I wasn't happy about that thought. So these intonations in your voice, these usage of words according to your expressions is also a part of pronunciation. So pronunciation is not faking your pronunciation, but pronouncing the words correctly, clearly, and with intonation and expressions. So for example, if I want to say, I love my city. I love my city, but the fact that it is very polluted disheartens me, so my expressions also go along when I say disheartened. When I say I love my city, I'm happy about it. So these expressions also make a lot of difference. You need to speak fluently, clearly, use good vocabulary. So it is a mixture of all those things when you are taking the speaking test. I hope this video is really helpful for all of you. We are going to have a lot of many such videos. So stay tuned with me. Also, many of my students requested me that, ma'am, please make videos in English. That is the reason I have come up with English videos only, and this is going to greatly help those who are actually preparing for IELTS. I will tell you why. Because it is very important for you to listen to more English, and if you are listening to English in your day-to-day life, you tend to understand it better. And when you are understanding it better, then you will not make any mistakes in your IELTS speaking test, because there I have seen many students fumble when the examiner asks them a question and they don't understand what was being asked. The examiner is not going to repeat the questions again and again. So you need to listen to more of English so that you get into a habit of listening to English and understanding it at that particular moment itself. So I hope my efforts are being of some help to you. So do not forget to subscribe and join me in my next video coming up soon. Thank you for watching.